Well, we're sort of stuck at home, right? Well, I thought it would be nice to talk with you and bring you up to date on what's going on. So I thought the best place to do that would be at this local little neighborhood park that is now empty, except for me, that Deacon, on YouTube. Well, hello, how you doing? Is everyone hanging in there? We don't have a very large channel, but we have a channel nonetheless. So I hope that you can share with me how you're hanging in there during these extraordinary times. Leave a message below and let me know. Also, other people will be able to read it, and we can form this little community that is able to share our feelings, our fears, and also the positives which you may have come across during this time when we are forced to stay indoors and distance ourselves from others. I'm curious to know, by the way, if you live your life with a spiritual regimen, are you making it through this time with a little bit less anxiety, less of a sense of panic? Do you have a sense of calm and peace that maybe others may not have? When you're out and about, are you a little bit more caring for your neighbor? My guess is that you would have a little bit more peace as compared to others who have no spiritual discipline whatsoever. Share that with me. Share that with me so I can see if I'm right or wrong. My guess is that those of us who have an inner spirituality outside of worship probably are doing a little bit better, but that's just my guess. I don't know. As for me, at my church, St. George's, La Cañada, we had a meeting with the rector a week ago past Thursday, and we decided then to stop services at church. It was the day after we held our Laundry Love. So we did hold Laundry Love in March, the second Wednesday in March, like we always do. It was reasonably busy, but we were able to get through it. And then we had a meeting with our rector, and we decided to close the office down. So we were a little bit ahead of the curve. Other than that, I've been home. I've been doing the work I can do from home. I've been finishing up my 6 weeks of Compline. I hope you've been watching the videos. I put them on another channel because I'm using music that I was afraid YouTube may sometimes pull the plug if they think you are using material that is protected. They will remove audio. And if you have too many strikes, they will close the channel down. So I thought it best to create another YouTube channel to try out Compline. I'm very happy to say that the full Compline has gone up without a hitch. I'm not in trouble. They just say that I can't monetize it, make money off of it, but I don't do that with my channels anyway, so it's no loss from this end. I hope that you're using Compline, especially now It's a very prayerful and spiritual way to go to sleep. We've been having the same issue here where I live in Arcadia, California. We're having a lot of merchandise not available in the stores. I have been an amateur cook for many, many years. And so a lot of the times people will not buy things because they don't know how to prepare it. I've been able to provide for my husband and I, and I've been doing all the cooking, even though it's a chore to see things unavailable. We've still been able to have decent meals, and I'm very thankful and grateful for a hobby that began when I was in my 20s. I didn't know it would pay off to this extent. As you know, we're coming up to Holy Week very soon, and my rector and myself and the music director, we decided to collaborate to do various online versions of the liturgies that are typically held during Holy Week. We decided not to film a regular service. It doesn't quite translate online. So she is basically taking the ministry of the Word, and then we will embellish it with video and pictures and voiceover. I have found this time very interesting. For some reason, I flashed back to an axiom taught to my seminary class by our Old Testament professor. His name is Dr. James A. Sanders. And Dr. Sanders had this formula for the prophets. Prophets, of course, did not predict the future. Prophets took what was happening today and then became a mouthpiece for God. And at the same time, they used a particular formula, at least in the literature that has survived in the Hebrew Bible. And he figured out that this axiom I'm about to share was good for almost all the prophets, all but Amos. This axiom is, it is not God who let us down. It is we who let God down. If bad things happen and we learn from them and repent or change our ways, God will restore things twice as good as they were before. And if you read the prophets, you can follow this formula through all of the stanzas. Well, the reason that this axiom has stayed with me during this time, and as I watched our culture during this time, during this pandemic, I've been watching people, a horde of people saying, I before my neighbor. People tend to be grabbing anything they can to make themselves feel better. I'm also seeing how much devastation is possible financially from this shutdown. I'm watching Congress debate whether they're going to send $1 or $2 trillion in care to help people get through this catastrophe as it unfolds. And what that is showing me is that up until this pandemic, people were under the misconception that they had enough, that everything was fine, that going to work and living out our lives was just the way things were. Well, we're vastly finding out that there is a great disparity between those who have and those who have not. And everyone in the middle is also at risk. That means that our economic system is designed to help a few and is not geared to help everyone. We are learning that most people don't exist on a living wage. We are finding out that health care is not available to all people. So we're learning that our government has really not taken care of everyone in this nation the way they should. And it's exposing a lot of holes in our own country's existence. We are almost vastly becoming a third world nation on the brink of 5G connectivity. Kind of shows you that break. I hope that you ponder these things during this time. And when this crisis is past, I hope we have learned from this experience so that indeed God can restore things twice as good as they were before. Well, that's all I have for you right now. I pray to God you are all well, that you are staying safe, that you have enough to eat, that your panic and anxiety level is less. And I want you to know that with God's help and everyone else participating in God's kingdom, we will get through this. And we will get through this wiser and better, not only for today, but for the future. May God's blessing be upon all of you. And may thankfulness outweigh any fear. And may calm outweigh any anxiety. God bless. See you next time.